Hi everyone, I'm Gary Null, and I'd like to welcome you to a continuing part of our series on self-empowerment. Today the topic is how to find happiness in an unhappy world. Without purpose, we resign ourselves to apathy. So part of happiness is having purpose, a constructive, positive purpose in our lives. Think of all the things that your life could mean to yourself and others if you simply kept focused on a meaningful, positive purpose. It's not about money or education, it's not about social standing, it's not about even special gifts or talents, but it's about meaningfulness of purpose. So if I know that I'm a good person, and if I know that I'm a happy person, then just being happy and a good person and being able to live my life in balance means I'm not going to imbalance anyone else. I'm not going to do anything else that's going to adversely affect another human being. That's meaningful.
How do you have a good life? And how do you make a difference? And there's so many ways to look at that. And one of the most important is to ask yourself, what's your purpose for being here? And is your purpose to be part of a whole and try to make that whole better? Or is your purpose just to grab as much as you can for yourself? And there is some research that shows that people who see themselves as part of a whole, where they try to improve that whole, end up being happier than people who just try to accumulate for themselves. And when I look at what makes a significant or good life, the question is almost always like a retrospective one. Like, did you make a difference somewhere? Did what you do help people? Were you able to love? Did, in some way, is the world better for your having been here?
Think if everyone did something consciously. So if I don't need something, I'm not going to buy it. Therefore, I'm not polluting in an excess way. That's being conscious. That's being mindful. So when you're mindful and you're conscious of every choice you make, the world is a better place.
Curious thing about life and our existence is that if we really are honest in our heart of hearts, we look around and we see that in our culture, despite the affluence, despite how advanced we've become technologically, there's still a pervasive and underlying unhappiness. That many people wake up in the morning and go about their achievement-oriented lifestyle. They may even be extremely successful in the world's eyes, but in their heart of hearts, they lack purpose. They lack meaning in their life, and fundamentally, they lack happiness. They go home at night and their families are unhappy. Our divorce rates are outrageous. We seem to be very good at inventing things and achieving things and accomplishing things in our culture, but unfortunately, we don't have the happiness factor that goes along with it.
You can be humble, austere, subtle, and have a major impact based upon the joy that you bring to others. Joyful people touch us lightly, and we look for that. Angry people don't. Negative people don't. Demanding people don't. Pushy people don't. When you want someone in your life, you want them in because of how they touch you. We stay stuck when we refuse to evolve. And then we develop superficial comforts around our stuck. We don't want to have anything happen that's going to make us feel uncomfortable, even if it's for our betterment.
To reach out, to make new family, to make new friends, to stay active physically and emotionally and spiritually, in my mind, are absolutely essential if we want to live longer, healthier lives. And I don't believe that can be separated.
And when we cease evolving, then everything becomes boring. We become boring. And then we start looking as voyeurs out to the world. Entertain me, feed me, I'm insatiable, I need entertained, I need distracted. Distracted from what? From an authentic life. Because an authentic life is constantly changing, constant. It never stops changing. And a stuck life doesn't change. And it gets angry with itself and depressed and it acts out. And how an angry life that is stuck and not evolving acts out depends upon each person and their conditioning and circumstances and who they are. Finally, how do I measure my inner value of self? How do I know what my value as a human being is? By how you touch other people, what you're willing to share, the degree of your compassion, the degree of your service towards others.
Love, which is probably the most important of all. Allowing ourselves to be with other people in a way that is open and respectful, that honors who they are. And allowing ourselves also to love ourselves and practicing seeing that as our the light of our life and following that light wherever we can and wherever we have the opportunity, moving in the direction of love rather than resentment or rather than fear, but making those conscious choices where we're able to.
We live in a time when millions of people in our own country need help. We have 5 million homeless people. We have 35 million people who are going to bed hungry each day. They just don't have enough food to eat. We have 100 million people who are one paycheck away from being poor. And yet, right now, we don't even think of these people. When we think of people poor off, we think of Darfur and the Sudan. We think of other places and other people. We don't even see our neighbors in need. We have probably half the senior citizen population in the United States is depressed because they're alone. They no longer have the value to society. They no longer are considered essential and important. And so we more or less abandon them. Do you know what it would mean to be able to give some friendship and comfort to these people? So when you look at all the children who are abused, all the people who have been neglected, all the deficiencies we have, then you have to say, is not part of my value, my internal value, and seeing if I cannot find those who are worthy and share the best of my nature with them? Being a big brother or a big sister, being able to spend some time helping seniors, shop for them, sit and talk with them, to go out and have conversation with homeless people. Think what it would mean just to spend time each day, an hour each day, helping other people who are less off than yourself.
Relationships are crucial. In fact, the richer a person's social network, the more likely they are, in the first place, not to get depressed, and then if they do become depressed, to be able to receive the support they need to heal.
In Cherokee tradition, I was told that in addition to the idea of the body, mind, and spirit, which is usually shown as 3 interlocking circles, body, mind, and spirit, I was shown there's another circle around those 3, and that circle is called family. And then there's another circle around those, and that is called community. And then finally, there's a third circle around those, one that's never drawn, and that is the Creator. And so to have that connection, we know that people who are happily married live longer. We know that people who have strong connections to a community and have lots of friends and that interconnectedness to other people live longer and live healthier lives.
Yes, every one of us is here to have an enjoyable experience on this planet, and in so doing, we will support those experiences for others as well. And it's simply the old golden rule coming back as the primary guidance for our planet. And if we live by that one rule, and perhaps instead of the 10 Commandments, it's simpler, just one rule is to learn to live in harmony with others and in this process create the community of life. And that is survival, and that is happiness.
You are a happy person because it's really only a happy person who's so happy with their life, so joyful with who they are, so much aware of the blessings of this day and grateful for it that they can share the gratitude of themselves with other individuals and do so with unconditional love. I believe that that is merely a step away. And that step is easy to take as long as you stop taking the step through the conditioned self, the conditioned mind, and the conditioned reactions. Surrender the ego, surrender what you are not, and fully and in an uncompromising way embrace who you really are. And that may mean a shock to many people. They may not recognize your attitude, your actions, your deeds when you're willing to say no or yes, based upon what the real self is wanting to align with.
I think that the real thing that keeps us from being able to really achieve what we want in life, which is happiness, is not so much simply by adopting positive thinking, but truly by going through a letting go process of all of our false ideas about ourselves. Our egos are not big on the idea of letting go. Our sense of identity is oftentimes who we believe that we are, and we are afraid to let it go.
And at the end of the day, that is that wonderful universal synchronicity of alignment and harmonizing with the right energy, so that even though your duality, the negative self, is behind you, it is so far behind you that you're not going to empower it. It may watch the positive self, but it will no longer dictate the words, the actions that self-sabotage. And then one day you wake up and you think, whoa, I feel good today. I'm happy. I don't need anyone, I don't need anything in order to justify my happiness. Just being in this moment, I'm happy. Thank you very much for watching.